Hello everyone, Wonderbricks here with another review and speed build for you. I will also be doing a bit of a walkthrough in this video as well. So I am very excited to be doing this build. This is one of my favourite franchises. Well, the first two movies anyway. It's a movie me and my family watch every Christmas. So today I'll be building LEGO Ideas 21330, the Home Alone house. In this set there is a whopping 3,955 pieces in it, by far the biggest LEGO set I have ever built. This set is also pretty pricey as well, but it is a lot better value for money than some of the other sets from other well-known franchises. So this set cost me $450 Australian when I ordered it the day it came out from the Lego Shop Australia online. And I'm pretty sure it came out in November. It was an early Christmas present. Unfortunately, I haven't got around to building it till over Christmas and the New Year, where I had a bit of spare time. So anyways, looking at this huge box, on the front of the box we have an image of the completed product on a slight angle with the part number and how many pieces are in it. On the side of the box you have more Lego pictures of the minifigures, including Kevin, his mum, and the old guy next door, and the wet bandits with Merv and Harry. And on the other side you have an image of the back of the house. On the back of the box we also have a big picture of the completed house front on, with all the walls opened up so you can see the rooms inside the house. Under that there is 4 small images of the model, with posting the minifigures in some of the scenes from the first movie. Lastly, on the back there is a picture showing how the model assembles, with being able to remove the 3 layers of the house and the 2 layers on the back room of the house. So inside the box there is 24 labelled packets of Lego, with some of them having multiple bags. You also have 2 sheets of stickers and the instructions. Now let me say, the instruction book is a bit of a novel. So looking at the instruction booklet, on the front page is an image of Kevin McAllister's battle plan from the house, just showing where he puts the Christmas ornaments, the red hot door handle and so on. On the first page spread we have a paragraph about the Home Alone being a timeless classic and one of the highest grossing comedies ever, and a bit of a description of the plot of the movie. There is also a few images on this spread, one front on of the completed house and 4 small images of some details in the house. The next page spread tells you about some of the scenes of the movie, telling you can recreate them, and also some of the traps and playable parts to this set you will be building in, like Buzz's room. There is a pull knob at the back of the house and the bookshelves collapse. Also shows the scene where Marv gets hit in the head with the iron that falls down from the linen chute. There is also a scene of the fake party Kevin is throwing. You build a few gears and stuff on the subfloor, and you rotate the knob on the outside of the model, and it makes it look like the mannequin is spinning and the train with Michael Jordan cut out on it spinning as well. Lastly, you have an image of Lego Kevin McAllister using the zip line to his treehouse. On the next page you have a full page spread on the person who designed the Home Alone house idea. It gives you a few paragraphs about who Alex Storozhuk, I think that's how you say it, and a bit of a backstory on him and why he made the set. There's also a few images of his original model, which is a fair bit different than the Lego model I am building. On the next page is a spread about a few of the designers for the model, saying Alex did a great job, and just saying basically it was a good build but we changed a few things to make it a little bit better. So next page you have how to use the Lego brick separator, and it shows you what bags make what. The first 2 bags of the Lego make Marv's OK plumbing and heating van. Bags 3 to 10 are for the first floor, bags 11 to 16 make up the second floor, bags 17 to 20 make up the loft and the roof, bags 21 to 23, these make up the basement and the kitchen, and lastly bag 24 makes the treehouse and the front scenery. So this book has a whopping 475 pages. On these pages there is 637 steps, with many of them blown up into many other steps. On the last few pages, some stuff about the battery that was included in about 30 different languages, a note to dispose of correctly in a lot of different languages as well, and more stuff on the battery if swallowed and all that mumbo jumbo stuff. And lastly, a few pages of a full inventory of all the parts. They also have part numbers, so if you are unlucky and your set is missing a piece or two, you can message Lego and they will be able to replace the part you need. Oh, so let's get on with the build. So I'll be giving my thoughts on all the parts of this build in order of it getting built, and my final thoughts will be after all that. So anyways, the van is the first part you build in this set. You also build Merv and Harry. When building Merv, he had two options on his face. It was double-sided printed. The first was basically a normal one, and the other side it was one with a reddish iron mark on his face, like what happens in the movie. Next you have Harry. He has an option to either have his beanie or a police hat on. Building the van, nothing too special. In this, it was very easy to build. There is a door on the back that opens up so you can put the stolen loot in. The roof of the van comes off as well. It's only held on by 4 studs, but it's still very solid for what it is. Very similar to how the house pulls apart later in the build. This is a good thing for playability for this set. It makes putting Merv and Harry in the van a lot easier, but in the video I make it look a little bit harder than what it is. I just didn't have them in the right position and could not get them both in correctly. So getting into the start of building the house. So first off, obviously you start with the subfloor. This is pretty easy. The instructions are very good and easy to read. In the subfloor you build a couple of gears which connect together and go all the way to the side of the house so you can turn it later for some playability. They also have sprues going into the first floor, which later on you build Michael Jordan's cutout and the mannequin on them. In the subfloor there is also a few sprues pointing to the front of the house. This is where the outside stairs and snow scenery is. So starting building the first floor, you start building the wall at the back corner of the living room. When installing any windows in this set, it's pretty simple. Just make sure the clear plastic, which is meant to be the glass, is facing out of the building. Also, some of the blocks you use in the walls have a brick pattern, so make sure they're facing out the way it shows in the instructions. Anyway, next off you're going to building the back wall in the entrance. On the wall there is a little sprue you can push forward. This is for pushing Kevin down the stairs in his sled, like the movie scene. Next you start building the staircase and the rest of the back wall, and also the dining room walls. So next we start to decorate the living room. You put down the train track, then the fireplace. The fireplace has a good amount of detail in it. There was a frog statue on top. I didn't notice the block and I thought it needed something else, so it took me a bit of time to sort out what I needed. So in the lounge room you also make a side table, which is just a bit of room filling. A Christmas tree, this also looks pretty good. It has 2 turtle doves on it, so I say that's one of the Home Alone 2 references they were saying at the start of the instructions. You build the train with Michael Jordan on it and put a few toys and a couple of presents on the ground. Now we're up to bag 7. In this bag we start off building the front entrance and the door. All are very simple. I had a tiny issue with the glass next to the door. I didn't look at the instructions properly and there were meant to be a thin 1x1 white block between each layer, so that took a little bit of time to figure out as well. Up next is decorating the dining room. You make a grandfather clock. This is a nice detail as well. Next you make this ugly mat. I have never paid attention in the movies to this mat, but I would never have a mat that looked anything like this. Next up you make a table and chairs. It's just a basic table design, but the chairs are a good and bad idea. It uses horns for each leg of the chair, which I really like the look of, but on the other hand they are a bugger to tuck in or move around. They will always slide on the mat underneath them, so you're always picking them up. So next we also finish off building the mannequin in the room, and now we're off to building the front walls of the living and dining room. They are both basically exactly the same, just reversed to fit on the opposite side of the house. They also have a hinge bit so you can open them up to look inside. There is a little bit of detail on the inside of them as well. which is a good addition. So with that, the first floor of the house is complete. So with bag 11, we start on the second floor. So you start off building the floor, of course. Next we build the staircase to the attic. There is a few pictures of the family on either side of the staircase. You also have Buzz's spider on the staircase. Next off, we start to build Buzz's walls in his room and his shelves on the wall. So you have a bit of playability with these. There is a few items that go onto the 3 individual levels of these shelves with some money and firecrackers on them. So there is a block you can slide out from under these shelves which make them collapse, and the money and firecrackers go flying like it does in the movie when Kevin climbs them to get Buzz's safe, which has the firecrackers and the money in it. But his weight makes it collapse. So next you move on to the main bedroom, starting with the walls first. The bed you make looks pretty cool with the half triangle smooth blocks, making it look like the blanket is pulled back a little bit. You build a few more decorative items in the room. The alarm clock that gets reset is among these items, which is a cool little addition. You next build the side wall to the staircase, then onto the bathroom, laying down smooth tiles to make look like tiles on the floor, obviously. Who would have thought? You next make a hand basin, which I think looks pretty average. It's not the greatest of designs at all. Off next to making Buzz's bed. Like the main bed, it is just a smaller copy of it, but a different colour. So I also like this design. Next you finish off all the details in Buzz's room. They look okay, it just fills his room up and makes it look a bit better. After that you finish the bathroom with the toilet and a few other things. Weird they didn't include the shower with the bathroom. Next up you build the handrail at the top of the stairs, and on this is a bit of string and the paint bucket to show the scene in the movie. You also finish off the upstairs hallway with a few decorative items. Next is the front walls. There are 2 of these. They are pretty similar to the first floor ones. Also, like the first 4 ones, there is a hinge block so you can open them and see the detail inside. So lastly, with the second floor, you place down a few more smooth blocks and a few 2-stud smooth blocks so the roof goes on and off it easy. With all that completed, you are easily over halfway done. It definitely takes a bit of time to build this model. It took me 4 days of building, about 9.5 hours in total. After about 2 hours, I start to get a little bit over it. So if you can break it up over a few days, I definitely recommend that. So let's get on to building the attic and the roof. So this starts with packet 17. So packet 17 is basically the base of the roof. Onto packet 18, more shaping of the roof, and you build 2 windows. There is a few more slightly technical blocks in this to help get the slope on the roof. With packet 19, you start building all the detail inside the attic with a bed, a gumball machine, which I have never noticed in the movie, and a few other details. With packet 20, you finish off the roof. You build a chimney, the back windows, a few hinges so you can open the roof up to see what's inside, and lastly, build the arches of the front windows. So now the room is complete. Next up we start building a minifigure, and it is of the old man next door that Kevin is scared of first, but then becomes friend with by the end of the movie. So the basement is up next. There's nothing too special about building the framework for the basement. The washing machine and dryer are a pretty cool addition to the basement. I like the design of them. Also the furnace looks pretty badass. It even has the only battery operated block in the whole set, so when you press down on the back of the furnace it opens up and then the light comes on, which looks pretty cool. So that's it for the basement. Next onto the kitchen, you start building the floor, then all the walls. On packet 23 of Lego you start decorating the kitchen. You have a few kitchen benches, nothing too special here. One of them has a Little Nero's pizza on it, which is a cool addition. You make more kitchen benches, then the island bench. Yeah, like I said before, nothing special. About these items, you also build the linen chute. You place an iron inside this, and with a turn of the knob it will drop down into the basement like it did in the movie. Lastly, you build the roof of the kitchen. It is just a basic design. So now with the kitchen finished, all you'll have to do is connect this room to the main house. There is 4 studs sticking out of the main house. All you have to do is line them up and it will slide in together. So getting onto the last packet of Lego, which is packet 24, you build another minifigure. This is of Kevin's mum. Not sure what her name is. Next you start decorating the front of their house. All the decorations are basic, but adds a much needed touch to the ground out the front. Putting up the Christmas lights was a tiny bit of a pain just to get them to face where you want to. They either wanted to face to the sky or to the ground for me, but after a little bit of playing around I got them to where I wanted them. Lastly, with this build, you build the tree house. This is most probably one of the items I least like about the house. I feel it is too small and very bland. Last thing you build is a zip line to the main house. So with that, the model is now complete, nearly 4,000 pieces and 9.5 hours later. So for difficulty for this set, I would give it a 2 out of 5. With the Lego instructions, all of the set was pretty easy to build. My 10-year-old daughter could easily build this set. For enjoyment, I am a little bit biased with this set. I love the movies, and I enjoyed building 99% of this build. I would give it a 4.5 out of 5. I loved it. So I will do a quick wrap up of the build. The pros of the build are there is a lot of cool playable features in this build, with the Michael Jordan train, the shelves in Buzz's room, and the furnace in the basement. This makes it more than just a display model. I love the simple bed designs. I haven't built any houses before, and I like the blocks used to build them. I think I got my money's worth with this set, which is the best thing you can do when you buy a Lego. Lastly, I like the minifigures. They all look pretty much like their movie characters. So cons of the build are the tree house comes at the top of the cons. It seems too small. The details on it are average at best. The plane at the top of it seems too big and out of proportion. Next, bathroom is very crowded. There is no shower. Also don't like the legs on the chair in the dining rooms. They move around and fall over too much, or you are always picking them up throughout the build. But other than that, this is a very satisfying build. Well, thanks everyone for watching. So this is the biggest video I've done today. Normally my videos are around 3 to 5 minutes, but this build was like 10 times longer than them, so I had to make a longer video. I would love to hear some feedback on this video, good, bad, or otherwise. It will help me making future content. If you do like the video, please leave a like and subscribe. So next week I'll be going to start building LNO gift series blocks 049 R2D2, and I'll be releasing that next Friday. Well, thank you all for watching. I hope to see you all in the next build. Wonderbricks out.